Now, it's reckoned that around 70% of people with no vision at all, that is, not even light perception, suffer from a particular form of disturbed sleep. It's known as non-24-hour sleep-wake disorder. It happens because your 24-hour sleep clock, which is regulated by the incidence of natural light, gets out of kilter, and that causes sleeplessness during the night and drowsiness during the day. Well, this can obviously have a very disruptive effect on many aspects of your life. Most people have this balance maintained by melatonin, which is a hormone generated by natural light. So what some people suffering from the condition have had to do is take melatonin artificially as a drug. Melatonin isn't licensed in the UK. That leads to people facing the uncertainty of buying it online. Now, though, we're hearing about a new drug, Hetlioz, which has been approved in the States by the FDA. I've been talking to the chief executive of the company, but we also brought him together with Lucia Bellini, who's been dealing with this condition since childhood.
My body clock shifts forward roughly about an hour and a half every 3 days. I may go to bed at, say, 10 o'clock and sleep and wake up at 6:30, and that will last for about 3 days, and then it will just get later and later and later, and it takes me about 4 weeks to complete the entire 24-hour cycle, because I've had this problem for at least the last 15 years or so. So I could last for about 4 days without having any sleep, or maybe 2 hours sleep in 4 days. It's ruined some very sort of significant times of my life, definitely. I thought it was my fault for years. I didn't know until I was about 21 that it was linked with having a visual impairment.
So what treatment do you have?
I have melatonin, and I think it's really important to sort of emphasise that I get my own melatonin online, which is absolutely not recommendable at all. I started off talking to my GP. He was really understanding. 1 week he was on holiday. I went to get the repeat prescription. Another GP in the same practice refused to prescribe it to me, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to work. I'm going to really struggle.
But how much does it help, and how effective is it, would you say?
It helps a bit. So if I haven't slept at all during the day, it will help me to sleep at night. I do have quite a lot of bad nights where I still don't sleep, but it definitely makes a difference. So,
let me bring in Dr. Mihail Polymeropoulos, who is Chief Executive of Vanda Pharmaceuticals. What does your drug offer, for example, which is different from melatonin?
Melatonin, the actual molecule that endogenously circulates in our body, has been perfected through evolution to circulate in the blood as a hormone. It is not a molecule that you can eat as a pill. We conducted 2 control clinical studies and compared Hetlioz taken once every night at the same time versus placebo. Those patients that received Hetlioz showed significant and clinically meaningful improvements on their sleep-wake cycle. It is important to emphasize that non-24-hour disorder is not just another sleep disorder of amount. It is actually about timing. As Lucia very eloquently described, the advancing timing of sleep propensity as if we are traveling one time zone every 2 days eternally.
So how long do you think it might be before this is available in the UK?
It is a very complex process applying, so hopefully as soon as possible.
Were there any side effects with the drugs in the trials that you did?
We studied the safety in over 1,300 patients, some of them for over 1 or 2 years, with some headaches that eventually went away. The other was vivid dreams.
Hey, Lucia Bellini, you're here listening to this. It's your problem, and you've got the chief executive of the company in front of you. Any points you'd like to put to him?
I think the fact that somebody has actually wanted to research and try to make a difference.
I'm keenly interested in understanding the molecular mechanism of disorders and developing therapeutics to precisely address the disorder and not just the underlying symptoms.
That's Professor Mihail Polymeropoulos, and you heard Lucia Bellini as well.